Hey guys, this is Eddie and this is another edition of On Board. Today I'm going to go over how I take off my props on a Bravo III dual prop system. Now this is important to do. I do it every 2 seasons to make sure I lube the shaft and lube the prop as well. So there's a couple tools you're going to need to get this job accomplished. So first thing you're going to do is take off the nose cone, that's the anoid, with the T6 Allen key socket. That's going to take that off. Once you get that nose cone off, you're going to run into the first bolt that's going to hold the first prop on. And that's an 1 7/16. So you're going to need that socket. And usually it's on a 1/2 inch drive is what you're going to use to take that off. You may need a breaker bar, but usually the ratchet's good enough to get that one off. Once you get that off, it's time to get the prop off. So if you have some problems, we're going to have a block of wood and we're going to hit it right in the back of the prop and that's going to knock it off. I'm going to show you how that's done when we take it apart. So now the next thing you're going to run into is the big bolt that's going to hold the back prop. So this is a special Merc tool. I did get it on Amazon. I'm going to tag the part number so you know what to get with it. So before you take that bolt off, you want to make sure you clean the threads and make sure it's really clean. So I have a wire brush and some emery. Make sure you get all debris off, any growth, any rust, because you're going to have a tough time getting that bolt off if you don't do that. So it's very important to do. Now once you do that, you're going to continue to take the bolt off. Once you get the bolt off, it's time to get the prop off. You got to go back to the block of wood and the hammer. All right, now when it comes time to put it back together, you're going to grease up the whole shaft. So you're going to use some marine grade grease. You're going to use that. And you're going to use it on the race and the shaft and the inside of the prop on the gears. Now once you get the back prop on, then it's time to put it back together. So you're going to need a torque socket. There is some torque specs. The back one on mine is 100 pounds. The front one is 60. So you're going to make sure you torque everything. We're going to go over that when I'm putting it together. So I think that pretty much explains all the tools. So let's go and get this job accomplished. So come on with me. Okay guys, so now I'm going to get ready to start to take this prop off. So the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, is with that 6T, is take off the nose cone. This isn't really that complicated of a job. It just could be a little difficult if things get frozen on. Next thing I'm going to need is a 1/2 inch drive with the 1 7/16 socket. So now, in order to get this off, you may need to put the block of wood on here like this, and then spin it to that, and then break it like that. Okay. That wasn't too bad. And now we're going to try to get the prop off. Now, we took the first prop off. That easy. Now, another important thing that I didn't mention is when you're trying to line them up, what happened with mine is, and I noticed from previously doing it, the two, see over here? The Merc part number is lined up. So when I put it back together, I'm going to do the same thing. So what you should do is take a picture and mark where it is on here. So you can even just scribe it so you have it. And you know you're putting it on the same way. Okay? Now, once you get to this point, you're going to see there is some little barnacle sea life on here. So you want to clean this up really good. And that's where your wire brush comes in. And you may even need a scraper. But make sure you clean up the threads really good on this. Believe me, if you don't do this, you're going to have a tough time getting it past the threads. And that's the last thing you want. And it doesn't take that long to do. Okay, now, that looks pretty good. Now, our special Merc prop tool. And get the block up in here. That's the other bolt. Okay. And now I'll try to get the prop off just by pulling it. There you go. That's because I usually do this every 2 seasons. There's the second prop. So now you're looking pretty good over here. There's 2 grommets. There's one back here. This is a copper grommet. You see it right there. And there's usually one up here. So since the other one's not here, I know where it is. It is going to be right over here. So to get that out, you just flip it over. We'll get a screwdriver and a hammer, and we'll pop it out. There is the other grommet. Okay. And make sure these things are all cleaned up, and then put it back together. So this one would go here. So not that complicated. So now what we're going to do is lube this up. But before I do that, what I do is I really clean these props good. So I'm going to get inside of there, some acid wash, clean it up, get everything off on it, and then put it back together. So because I have 2 out drives, I have this one that I'm going to put the props on that I cleaned already. So I'm going to go get the other prop. Now I'm on my other side. I already started lubing most of this up. So I'm just taking these off. The grommet's right here that I was talking about that has to be put on. I lubed inside of there. So what I'm going to do is go over how I lube it up, which is really easy. Okay, that all cooked up with all lube all around it. It's a good idea to wear gloves. Okay, so this prop will go in. I'll go like that. And I'll keep it right on the edge like that, like it was on the other one. Okay? And then I'll get ready to put the bolt in. Bolt on. Now when I get ready to tighten it, I use my block of wood in here again. Tighten it hand tight. And now this is going to be 100 foot-pounds. Okay, so as you can see, I got it at 100 foot-pounds. So I'm all ready to torque the first one. So I just put this in here. And you heard the click. That means it's tight. Okay. So that's the first one. So I'm going to loosen that block out. And then once again, I'm going to line up this part number on both of them. And this is the way that it came off, and this is the way that I keep putting it back on. Now some people say it doesn't matter. Click. And that's as tight as you need to go. And then the last thing that goes on, there's a torque spec on this, but it's pretty much hand tight. It's 20. Pops back on. They're pretty clean. They spin fine. And next time you got to get it off, there shouldn't be a problem. Now, if there is a problem getting them off when you are hitting it with the hammer, you're going to come back here. And you're going to go on this, not up high, but on the bottom part of it, and tap it off like that. And go around with it if you have problems getting it off. Okay, I hope this helps you out. Remember, I do this every 2 seasons. I recommend the same thing you should be doing. So once again, this is another edition of On Board. I'm Eddie, and I'll catch you at the next video.